start recording. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's start sharing screen. And that's it. Thank you for joining. Let's get to it. So have a quick look at Forex Factory. So this is Tokyo session. We're now summertime, so clocks are back to normal compared to the USA. And let's come up to the home here. Now this is Easter week, Good Friday, so the markets will get slower as the week goes on. We don't have, we've just got some low impact news on the Japanese yen and the euro. And we have got non-farm payroll coming up and OPEC meetings all day, which affects Canadian dollar. And Friday, that's the non-farm payroll. So that's the biggest single event in the monthly Forex calendar. The market tightens up as the week gets closer to it. And it is saying that it's the figures are going to increase, employment change. But what happens is the banks that move the markets, they can do anything they like. That, you know, they hide behind these big news announcements and they send the market the way they want to. And all that we need to know is that as the week goes by, the market tightens up. So let's have a look at our currency strength meter. I'm sticking with this one. I find it easy. So it's the one-day relative performance against the US dollar. We've got GBP strongest, followed by New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar, Japanese yen and US dollar, virtually at parity in the middle. Euro's weaker. Oh, just switched round on us. So we've got Australian dollar strongest, New Zealand, that's the hourly change, Great British Pound, Euro, CAD in the middle, US dollar and JPY is weakest at the end. And let's pop over to our HourGlass. And see what's occurring. Can't see the DXY up at the moment. So I'll just have a quick flick through so we can see before we look at the payouts. So US dollar at the moment, we would want to be taking puts because the moving average is above. However, we can see that the currency strength meter is opposing that and saying that the US dollar is stronger. So we'll come and see what else we've got here. Euro USD is about at parity, although I've got the euro slightly stronger on my Finviz. And again, we've got price being pressed down. Oh, I don't know why that logged me out. Sorry about that. We've got, you can see it was in a period of consolidation. It's just gone into some expansion there. But again, price pressing down. So we'll wait till that comes. Oh, they're all flicking around. That's the 10 past. That's just called a put. It's just off our moving average in the middle. Euro slightly weaker. Let's see if we can find something better that we can discuss. I haven't looked at the payouts yet. Euro JPY, Euro's a great deal stronger here than the Japanese yen, which is the weakest of all the currency pairs at the moment. And that is coming down you can see it's in an upward movement there, so we'd want it to come back down, and then we might look at, depending on the payout, Euro JPY again for a call like we did on Les's session. So I've made a note of that. Euro CAD, got the euro weaker than the Canadian dollar. There's our EMA at the top. So we want that to come up, let that come back up. Quite volatile currency, and there are OPEC meetings later in the week. And then look at that for a put, but it's not one I trade very much. And USD Chef, I'm going to ignore that. USD CAD, we've got the US dollar a little bit weaker than the Canadian dollar. Always check you're on the right pair up here and that it matches up. Don't rush into trades. So again, that's just off the moving average in the middle. NZD, GU, GJ, that's called a put. Moving average is just coming down, so that looks like price might be turning up as you'd expect, because the Great British Pound is stronger than the Japanese yen by a long way. So price wanting to carry on upwards, which is why the moving average is now going to come down here. So GJ we would want to be looking at for calls, and anything else we want to look at down here. Don't want to do GA or EN, don't want to do any of those, or USD. We've got the Australian dollar is strongest of all our currency pairs, and USD is very weak, but the problem with this is our moving average is moving right through the middle, so we want to see that come down a bit, which might not happen. It might or might not happen on this session, but then we could look at Australian dollar for calls. So I just made a few notes, kind of get your mind around what sort of things you want to be looking at. Australian dollar is the strongest on FinViz and JPY is the weakest, 57.10. So again, let's let that get down to the oversold area. You can see the moving average very nicely sitting on the Bollinger Bands there. We'll look at the payouts now, and let's see if there's a setup for that for a call. And that's it. That's it there. So now I'm going to come over to the look at the payouts. USD JPY 67, USD CAD to GJ 76, and Euro JPY a little bit low for us at 68, Euro CAD 73% payout, and then, oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? AUD USD 84%. And AUD JPY 74%. So let's go over to AUD USD. So Australian dollar is a Tokyo session pair. There are three pairs that form the Tokyo session pairs, and that's Australian dollar AUD, NZD for New Zealand dollar, and obviously JPY for Japanese yen. And that's very spiky, which is reflected in the volatility, reflected in that payout. And let's come over to let's just see, I've got that on my CASHTRAP. And I'll just see if I've got it to show the, this might have been one of the failed ones. oh, this was the shark pattern, and the Australian dollar, that's a beautiful channel, that, beautiful. So it's carried on moving up strongly. And it's still on the way up, I think. Although you can see that volume, the volume is being traded is very, very low. It's just showing you on a cleaner chart. And it's just stopped, it's just completely stalled out at the moment. It's stopped moving up on the 1 minute, which is why it's so spiky on the broker, all that little movement there. On the 5 minute. So we've got up here, I think Les is better at these than me. I think that's a double top there, and it's coming down. It's on its way down, maybe. So I like to look at this just to tell me, this is on the 1 minute, what the market seems to be doing. And if I put the pivots on, it's just a cleaner chart. The pivots show us the highs and lows, which is a little bit messy. Well, perhaps it's going to confuse us. I'll switch that off. But what I can do to show you is take a parallel channel. I'm on the 1 minute here, and show you the channel it's in. Because as we always say, the market is always forming channels. And let's see if I can pull that out. Was that on the hour? That's a half hour. Round about there's a half hour, which is that spike there. Let me just move it there. Can't quite get, it's quite spiky. There we are. So as you can see, it that's an hourly as well. I don't need to be bothered to be too precise. I just want to show you the trend. So it's stayed within the channel. That's the 50% line. It's had another go going up. It is struggling here now to carry on up in this upward channel. So although it is a very strong currency, 84 compared to the Japanese yen, that might be reflected in HourGlass. And let's find it. AUD, where have you gone? 20 past, just coming up to the next change. So according to this, this is going against our currency strength meter, 59 to 33, 76356. It's just going to change. So, and you can see what I showed you in that channel, the moving average is now slicing right through the middle, which means consolidation, which is what I showed you on that previous chart. So we're not going to trade this at the moment. Just to remind you what's happening. If I magnify that, that's what our HourGlass chart is showing us. Ignore these blue and orange lines. They are different from HourGlass. They're not the same moving averages. Don't bother with them. But it shows you here on, this is on the 1 minute chart, that you see that lower high. So price is struggling now to carry on in its upward trend. So we don't, even though it's a nice payout, we don't want to be taking a trade. Matty doesn't take trades when that's slicing through the middle. Okay, so what I think may happen is that we see the Australian dollar weaken and we see that moving average move up, in which case we could look at it for puts. Okay, let's just see what that did call a put. less than a minute ago. But what's going to happen is it's got to fight this moving average in the middle, and it's got to fight that 200 moving average. So we don't want to get involved in that. So we're going to turn to the next one, which is ORD JPY. Probably be further down. There it is. Again, Australian dollar. Now this is a call. This is looking better. We've got payout of 74%. We've got the moving average there. We've got our lines showing upward, the upward tick. We haven't got a B for a buy. We had a call here off that line at 858. And that was 860, pretty much what it's called there. Ideally, we like them down at the Bollinger Bands. Let's come over and look here. This is the 5 minute. Put some, put my so that's still pushing up. Show you on here, coming up to the half hour. So unless we take this as a trade in a minute, we'll have to wait. Haven't looked at this one on this chart for a long while. See where it is on here. Oh, not a lot of volume being traded in ORD JPY at the moment, but that is showing you the upward trend. And on the hourly, I can't remember when I last drew a scan on here. I don't think I've had that many at all on this one. So we've got I think that's a double bottom. So it's on its way up. And it's probably wanting to come back up to that 320 area. See if I've got any. No, I haven't got any other things we can look at on that chart to show us what it's doing. So on this chart, for me, it's floating around in the middle of nowhere, but it does show you the low volume. It does show you it's in that upward channel. Let's have a look here. So I'm going to come back to HourGlass. And let's see if that gives us, got 47 seconds, but it's very wicky and it's not as far down as ideally I would like it. That'll give us another call. Bring over here. So you can see it's just in the middle range, 873, 872. We want it down here, 864, which would be, that's that red line of resistance there. And we've got that line down at 854. So ideally we'd like to see it come down a bit more, but we're at 25 past. And HourGlass has given us another put at the moment. a put at 862, which is good. So if we wait till after the half hour and just let it do its retrace back, that's the 841 line. So 841, and we've got the next line down at 804, which on our trading view, 867, 864, so that's still quite a way to go. It's 885 in there. So that looks to me like it just wants to carry on up for the half hour at the moment. I'll put on our Evan Cabral's. Have I got that on here? So that's going to push up to 897. That's close of market. It's just come down to that line there. I don't need that one on anymore. I don't need that one on anymore. And let's come back to HourGlass. 2 minutes 15 left on this one. It said put, but you could see it. This is where you need to think about the analysis. There's that 891 area, which is where it wants to kind of finish its move up for the hour. For the half hour. And we've got 1 minute 53. So Australian dollar a great deal stronger. The moving average is at the bottom Bollinger Bands. We've got that line of resistance at 891, 892 on the broker, pushing up strongly. We've got the put in the red arrow. We've got our stochastic and RSI in the over bought area. We've just got a B come up there. And that's what we want to be looking at. It's a very strong push up. So we could take a put. I'll just hide that. But we are going against the trend, and you can see very clearly that trend there. But we have got a good line of resistance there on the 5 minute. This is on the 5 minute. It did push up to 909 there. You've got a strong buy candle, and it opened exactly where it closed on that line of resistance for the sell. It wasn't quite an engulfing candle. It's an indecision candle, and then it decided it wanted to carry on down. And again, back here, there's one up there at 931. Well, no, it did wick off it, and that was at the open of New York. So we need to be careful of this one because it could carry on busting on through. And we're just getting the change now on the half hour. It's given us another put. At 883, but it can still turn around the other way. You can get it where, if you see here, it went up, came back, went up again before going down. So there's nothing. It has got the momentum there, but there's nothing to stop it because we know it's so much stronger and the Japanese yen. There's nothing to stop it wanting to flick up again before it then goes down. I would have liked to have seen it push up further than 883, personally speaking. Let's come to the 1 minute. So that, if you look at that candle there, you can see it's just wicked off that line of resistance at 882. So I'm not going to take this trade, but we'll just watch it, see if it comes down. Because it's got a strong upward momentum, it's so much stronger, and you can see in fact that little candle is fighting. And that I don't always use the PSARs, the parabolic stopper. Is it parabolic? I forget what they stand for now. Parabolics, I want to say stop and reverse, but that's not right, is it? Brain's tired. PSARs, anyway, I call them. SARS. Anyway, you can see it wicked off the strong lines of resistance. It wasn't as high as I hoped it would be. That line there, up at 898, that previous wick. Bollinger Bands are still pointing slightly upwards, and there it goes. It did try to go down, and then it tried again down. It's tested that level 882. Whoa, look at that. And that's why you don't get into things like this. And then it's broken straight through that 898, and it's up at 907. We said 909, possibly heading for 931. And that's on the strength of the currency meter and what we saw when we looked left. Let me just come back down to normal size. And that's heading up now, because price always has to find levels to work from. It will always want to move to major levels. So it's heading up. It's trying to head up to that level there because of what happened over here, there, and it's bust through that, and it's now looking at that area there, because price always has to balance, so market balances. So that's that line there. It's exactly on that wick there, and it might want to go up to that 933, which is that level there. It's just wicking off that one now. So that would have been not a very good trade, to say the least. And you can see now it's leveling off. So it's pushed on up. So we might leave that one, and we might look at the next one, which is, I think I might look at GJ at 76%, because I don't really want to be taking that for puts, even though the payout's very nice. But GJ was at GJ 76%. Here's GJ. Don't like it because our moving average is just pushing down into the middle of the Bollinger Bands. So that's a no-no. Next one down is EuroCAD 73%. There it is. EuroCAD. Euros 41, Canadian dollar 32. Let's just check that. They're sitting at parity in the middle, actually. Pretty much similar. 41 to 32. Our moving average is at the top. So that's implying that the euro is getting weaker against the Canadian dollar. It's in quite a little period of consolidation here. So we've had higher lows, a lower high, and then now a higher low. And the band there, the channel is just really, really tight there. So what we want to see is another flick up and then to come down. Come over and look at it on here. What's that doing on there? Sorry, I have a thing on there I didn't mean to have on there. So it's off. Just say what you see. That's a really long wick up there. So at the moment it's off. The bands are moving sideways. Our moving average is coming down. So that means, you know, it's pushing price down. It's very wicky as a pair, which we don't like. So we don't like that volatility. And I know Eurocad can be like that. So 157 up in that area, 160 for a put is what we would want to see next. And we've got 4 minutes for that. And that would be at 160. It's at 139 here. $160 thereabouts. Where's our line of resistance? So it's 153. It's round about this area. There it is. 150. 153. There's one back there. That's 167. So we want to see it come up to this area here. 150 for a put. We've got the Canadian dollar now. Euro's just strengthened a little bit. Still stronger on the others as well. 136 for a call. And it's just leveled off there. It's not doing very much at all. Oh, just shot up now. There it is, up at the 161. Let me come down to the 1 minute. Let's just come off that at 38 minutes past. So ideally I like to wait to the open of the next candle, but as Les said, you can, if you've got the same thing, we haven't got the same thing going on. If we had the same situation before, we could get in earlier, but because the previous one was a put and this is now a call, we don't want to be getting in until we get the turn of the candle in 1 minute 23. And bear in mind, it's slightly risky according to the currency strength meter, but our moving average is up here, which is in our favor. So if we get this ticking down, haven't got that, we'd have 1, 2, we'd have the Bollinger Bands and the line of resistance 3, 4, and then a put 5, and we should have a 5, so that would be, and that's in number 8, so haven't got that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5-point trade if it comes back this way. There's Eurocad, 73%, and there it is, up at 163. Has been up at 168. Let's see what HourGlass says. I don't want to get into this until it flicks down, and sometimes you can miss the move. I know you can miss the move, but it's better to be safer. Right, so we've got a put called at 150. Canadian dollar, I think. Euro's just gone a bit stronger. So we've got 1, 2, 3, just about a 4 or a 5, but these aren't really flicking down very steeply. That's at 149. That looks like it's a buy candle coming up there again, rather than another green one. Yeah. Oh, look at that. These things. that's EuroCAD. You know, those wicks, and I know it can be spiky. So that's why we try and stay patient on these things. So our next line up is 168. And the euro is quite a bit stronger. So we'll have to abort that mission. Oh, it's just coming off down now with quite a strong sell candle. Oh, it gives you a heart attack, these things. 167, 180, 180, 40 seconds to the new 1 minute candle. Did do a very strong push up there though, didn't it? And haven't got the currency strength in our favour. It has formed, just going higher there, as you can see, and there's a wick there, so I don't like that. I don't like that wick. That says it's pushing up. It's trying to push down, but it can't. That's why we're seeing that wick. So I don't think we want to take this one. Just stalling out there. And it's carrying on pushing up, 172. And you can see that long wick up there. So it probably is heading up that way. So I'm not going to do anything with EuroCAD. It's very spiky. That next one up is 202. So just write down your previous levels of resistance when you're looking at whether you're going to take a trade or not. That's 230. And you can see price has tried to push its way up there. So 47 to 30 now on the euro. So we're going to move on to another one. There's the euro. Quite a bit stronger than the Canadian dollar or JPY. The Australian dollar is still strongest, Japanese yen's weakest. We might be able to come back to that. So I'll just look at the last one on the list, which is the, look at, I think we discounted Euro JPY, didn't we? Because we said it was, we've now got the moving average there. Euro's still a lot stronger. EuroCAD we've just looked at. Come back to Euro USD, which I didn't look at before because of where the moving average was. Okay, so we've got Euro stronger than the US dollar. It is paying out at 70. It's up at 689, 689. Where have you gone? That's the 5 minute. Straight. Hang on. Oh, right down there. Sorry. Something in the chat. Okay, so we've got the euro stronger than the US dollar. It's just come off these lines of resistance, didn't quite hit the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. 7620. It's come up to the middle, which is that previous line here that I can see. That range here at about 677. And let's just have a look what's happened over here. So it's already been down to soak up that liquidity down there, and it's perfectly matching up with that level over here. So we've got that and that wick there, that wick there. Again, it's wicky as well generally, which means volatility. And we've had resistance there, and this is turning into support at this level at 674. Not quite as far down as we would like it. 45, this is the quarter. Come over here. We've got currency strength in our favor. It says a call at 671 and we had 677. So let's see this turn round, that turn round. We haven't got a buy there. We've got it off that line here, which is that 662. We've still got a red candle coming down, but we've got the call. So we've got the Bollinger Band 1, the call 2, the line of resistance 3, 4 for the currency strength meter. And if these turn up, we've got a 6-point trade, but at the moment, it's just still pushing down. I'm going to come down to the 1 minute because you know I like to do that, even though that's very flighty. And that's at 677. Now the problem with this on the 1 minute is it's just fighting that moving average, which can put you off when you look at the 1 minute. Is that just moved on me? Let me just check the chat as well. So I may have just missed that one because of this. Where have we gone? 71%. It's at 674. And that down to the other one. 677. So you might have taken it. I might have just, oh, it still says red there. So I haven't quite missed it yet. 671, 671, 668, 673, 673, 677, 672, 671 down here. We are at 47. So if it comes back down, I'll take that for a call. I don't want to take it at 675. It's just moving up. I might have just missed it. 674, 675. Sorry, I think that's on the 5 minute. 670, 671, 675. If it comes back down, I'll take it, but not if it doesn't. Some of you may have already been in that. Okay, I'm in that 671 for 3 minutes, non-fixed. And you know what I like to do when I do this? I shake the bank on. Give mummy her money. Give mummy her money. So I have to make a decision on rollover. It's coming up there. HourGlass, you can see it's moving up 673. It's turned up there and there. And 49, whoops. I'll finish this just after that next end of the 5 minute candle at 50.05. So I've got less than a minute left in this. So I'm not going to roll over. I haven't got rollover anyway because I'm in profit. Come on, give mummy her money. Mummy wants her money. Give mummy her money. It's good enough for Diane, his Maserati and his Rolls Royce. It's good enough for me. 49.44. Countdown to 50.05. Just got 15 seconds. And that should clear. That's just the end of that 5 minute candle. And that's it. Okay. So I'm going to stop share. That's it for me. Thank you, Les. How do you take notes when you go through the pairs in the beginning? What do you write down to determine what pairs you come back to? Very good question. My trades on VidForex take much longer. You're welcome to unmute yourself, Gabor. I don't know why your trade's taking longer, but to answer the other one, how do you take notes when you go through the pairs in the beginning? What do you write down to determine what pairs you come back to? Very good question. I don't know if other people follow the same routine. I just have the same process. Number one, I look at Forex Factory to see what the red folder news is against a pair. And then if it's an important week, like the first week of the month, the most important item in the Forex calendar is non-farm payroll. Bankers hide their moves behind that. Secondly, I go to FinViz. I know Les uses currency heatwave. I've just got used to using it. So I'll write from left to right, I'll write the strongest pair and I'll write them down, ignoring CHF for Swiss franc because that's currency has failed. So I've just got a little visual. I don't have to keep flicking back to it, that I can see which is the strongest, which is the weakest. As you saw, sometimes they flick round a little bit. And then I flick through HourGlass to see where the moving average is, before I even go to percentage payouts, but I'll stick to pairs that I like, which is what Matty Pips likes. So I'll stick to Euro USD, Euro JPY, USD JPY, USD AUD, because Les likes that, and that's another one of the 7 major Forexes. So I'll have a general look, and if they're opposing each other, like you saw, the moving average is at the top for a put, but it's saying calls, and the currency strength is stronger. You know, if they're opposing each other, that will put me off, or if it's slicing through the middle. So I'll end up with a little short list. And for tonight's session, the short list was Euro JPY, Euro CAD, GJ, AUD USD and AUD JPY, because of where the moving average was and the strength of the currency meter, okay? And then I come and look at the payouts and start with the highest. So we started with AUD USD, it was 84%. So that's how I break down to determine what pairs to come back to. And I usually follow that every time. So I won't be looking at all the pairs. He's got something like, there's 28 pairs, I think, that you can trade in total. And he's got a lot more on there. I avoid USD Chef, GBP Chef, Euro NZD, Euro AUD, because those are 2 very fast pairs. We don't really have any need to trade them. So I started with AUD USD, but we saw how volatile it was. And another good principle is only trade for an hour at a time. Les always teaches us that, little and often, because you do get a little bit tired. We've just done one good trade. It's what Matty Pips says, protect your profits. You know, okay, we did one trade in an hour, but that's better than doing 2 losing trades, because you do a losing trade, then you want to do another one to say, oh, I want my money back. And as you get more confident, you know, you can then, you can, you know, put the profit on that. You could stay on, if you saw another setup that you saw was coming to fruition, you could then put the profit from that one at 68%, you know, your $6.80 onto your second one. And Les taught me that. So you, on your second trade, you put $16.80, and then you've got 2 very good trades that you've done. So that's how we look at it. And then from there, I just went down the payouts. So the 84% one didn't work out. We looked at AUD JPY 74%, GJ at 76, Euro CAD 73. It was very, very wicky. I really don't like trading that pair. Matty Pips doesn't either. So we settled on Euro JPY again, which is what Les traded earlier today. I think that was the one we did, didn't we? My brain doesn't work very well afterwards. So that's it. I'm going to stop recording unless you've got any other